What happens when love is tested by pressure, silence, and life abroad? Sometimes marriages don't suffer because love is absent, but because pain is unspoken. Sometimes marriages don't break in the moment. They break in silence, in distance, and in the things that are left unsaid. Welcome to Heal the Hurting with Leke-Aladekoba. On today's episode, I am joined with Sam and Kofo Babatunde of Cana Connections, and we're going to be talking about marriages, exploring issues that occur in marriages, things that they have seen, and just giving us insight into how we can make our marriages work and get better. So welcome to this episode, and I'm so honored. Like I said, I have Sam and Kofo with me today. Yay! Okay, so first of all, I'll tell you a story before I invite them. So I remember when we first of all moved to Canada, and they talked about a ministry that they had, marriage ministry, and we joined their course. And I tell you, it was a life-changing one for us, because at the time, my husband and I had been apart for about 5 years. So going through that course really, helped us reconnect, find our beginnings again. And, that's why I'm excited to have them on today. So I'm going to allow Kofo tell us about Cana Connections.
Thank you so much, Dayo.
Thank you.
We're excited to be here. Cana Connection actually is a ministry that caters to all relationships, really. All relationships. And Cana, the word Cana there is Cana of Galilee, right?
Oh,
where Jesus, the first wedding, marriage, and marriage is the one that's what starts all relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're going to have children, whether you have sisters or you have brothers, or you're married, it's all, Cana is the start of it all. So that's why we say Cana Connection. So when you're connected to Cana, where Jesus is, you're bound to have a fantastic relationship. So what we do actually is to reach out to, honestly, from cradle to glory. Children, little children, that's where you catch them young. And then we also minister to the teenagers, to young adults, teenagers, young adults, and married people, whether you're just married or you've been married for long. So we walk, in that strata in the community. And so that's what we do basically. Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll dive straight into the questions. When I was thinking and I was trying to, I said, so from your years of experience and, counseling marriages, young people, even singles, what are the common issues or the most common issues that you have seen that cause strain in marriages?
Let's do that.
Quite a challenging question, but I think we also have some quite challenging solutions. It's called when you do a research on the most notable challenges in marriage, you'll come across at least 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And in the order of their ranks, number 1 is money. Money. I think many people are familiar with that song before now.
Yeah.
Even the scripture says, money answereth
all
things. But it wonders. The love of money is the root of all evil. So you can have it, but please don't switch your love for God onto that of money. But definitely you need money.
Mm-hmm.
So as we answer some of these things, the answers may be walking across. You will say, well, what's my own? I'm not yet married. Maybe the warning for you here is that if you don't think you have enough courage or money to establish marriage, you may need to take a break and reorganize yourself and be sure that whether you or together with your spouse to be, you are agreed on where you are at and how you want to move stepwise. Not that you're getting in there and then you start wishing for miracles in 24 hours. It doesn't happen that way. Praise God. So money is number 1. We can talk about that one for a whole day, but I just have to save time with you guys now. Number 2 is sex. And this is very critical because money, you can ask all the questions, check all the books before marriage or inside marriage. You can't check out sex before marriage. So you got to leave whatever you get after marriage. But we do ask couples, you can go for checkups. Let the medical experts in each of these directions and separately give you guys comfort on the fact that you have just like lately to right now. Before, we don't used to check about blood.
Yes.
But right now, it's too critical to say you don't want to be part of bringing into the world an impossible child
Yeah.
or a nightmare or every night vigil child. No. So go and check up how your blood sample likes. So also there are now sex therapists who can interview you and check you out and confirm that you have no any uncontainable issues. Some people are so averse to sex that they don't even know that they have the virtues for it. So when you go for therapy, the therapist will let you know your areas of strength and weaknesses and what you can do to brace yourself up for things like this. And it's even very much more helpful for those who are adults, matured adults. They are beginning to win off from what you normally call in those days age of flower, which is between 20 and 25 or 27. Once you start crossing 30, the mind starts swaying with is this thing really for me or not? And the first things that start withering out are these areas of sex. But with a good therapist, we have tested and confirmed that it works and helps to prepare the people. That's number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 3 is children. I'm going to have 1 or 2 or 4, male or female, whatever. And it's another serious topic. We can't finish it just in one go, but suffice to say, what we advise on this one, sit down and just pray about it. Hand over your matter to God. Number 1, you are neither a creator, nor the maker, nor the sustainer of these children. You are only vessels in the hands of God to bring about what He has ordained or approved from heaven. So it's better to just run His own agenda according to Psalm 127 verses 1 to 3. Children are what? They are the heritage of the Lord. And the fruit of the womb of a woman is just the gift of God. It's not by any... You can go and do tumbo under the bridge. When the result starts coming out, then be ready to face it as well. We have witnessed too many crises over in-laws fighting over how come you married this one that cannot deliver. Sometimes they don't even check who has the problem. Might be the man that has problem, might be the woman, might be both of them. You never can tell. So you can't fight knowledge. Seek information, seek knowledge for by gathering information, understand it, then be ready to work at it. That's that's our own views on children, and much more that we can also still speak about it. You put the problem before you, not in between the two of you. That you don't have children is not something that you can easily determine or decipher or resolve on the spot. Number 4 issue is in-laws. And I know as soon as I mentioned that word, now some of you on the line are already changing your position and breathing hard, because that word sends some terrible signals to some couples, to some spouses, and they just start wondering why this in-law now, why? As somebody has said, he said when you look at a woman, she has a sister, and she has a husband, and the husband has a brother and sister. The husband is a husband. The brother to the husband is a brother-in-law. The wife, the sister is a sister-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law. Then you ask yourself, who is the law? The woman is the law. So if you guys can't be ready to work with that law in that house, you may not be able to live long. So in-laws can be positive, they can be negative. But guess what? If we run this institution the way the Lord created it, this should not be a nightmare for anybody. Last but not the least is house chores. And this comes to place especially when you are moving location, like traveling outside your base. Base of most of us talking right now, if you are from the Afro-Caribbean background, is usually the woman in the kitchen and the man in the sitting room. I think that age is long gone. Especially in those ages where the man alone is working, making the money for the family, and the woman is now the Minister of Interior, taking care of the children and the direction in which the home is going. So full-time, it's a full-time business. But now you get to certain clients, both of you will even work from morning to night and it's still not enough. So you have to really change your gears. And principles of addressing them, there are many, but you just asked me what are some of the most common issues. I list them without much answer to all of them for now.
Okay.
And I want to say that, when I look at the list, I said all these on the bed of communication.
Yeah.
So if you want to say that, if you're looking at what are some of the common issues you said, right, the foundation of these issues is communication. Because if you can't communicate all this, you'll have a problem. If you can communicate it, it's absolutely no problem.
I'm going to ride over that because, yes, one of the things, even when I was going to get married, I know one of the things they taught us in our marriage counsel at the time was, communication is key to marriage. It could make or mar a marriage. And the person that you even get married to can technically make or mar you as a person, like your destiny and what you end up achieving. So when we talk about communication, I find that sometimes people do not really know how to communicate. So there's an idea. So I'll give an example. I have an idea that I want to communicate. I don't know how to communicate. I remember one time, my husband was telling me, I'm not the Holy Spirit. Or if you don't communicate, if you don't say what's in your mind, I don't know what you're thinking about. But I find that men, especially with men, sometimes they don't even know how to communicate with their spouses. When something goes wrong, a man loses his job, for example, he doesn't know how to communicate. So what advice can you give? Because it's two ways, both ways. Is it that the woman has made the house uncomfortable that the spouse cannot communicate, or the husband has made it uncomfortable that she cannot communicate? How do we address that issue of communication?
Yeah. Communication, I always use one word. I say confrontation. Growing up, I thought confrontation was a very negative word. Because you said I confronted him. It's just talking. That's confrontation, right? Because I went to somebody and we're talking. That's all. And it's so, when we look at communication in marriage particularly, it's not a matter of life and death. It's not a gun knife thing. It's just sit down and talk. But that's the major problem.
It is.
Right?
It
So we
is.
need to sit down and talk. Maybe I can go back a little bit to my maybe a story about myself. I remember that, particularly those of us from the Caribbean, the African Caribbean,
Background.
particularly African background, it's as if you can't talk about what's in your mind. I don't know why. It's like there's a lot of, it's shrouded in mystery.
Yes.
So you just say things that you think people want to hear, but you haven't said anything in your heart. So I remember that, one thing that God helped us to do in our marriage is to conquer communication. We had issues, when we're dating, when we're still dating, and I actually wanted to quietly, because I couldn't communicate what was going on in my mind, I wanted to walk away and disappear and just drop the relationship and leave. Right? So the day I called him to to tell him that,
For my verdict 83.
to give him the verdict,
Verdict 83. Because
and
that was
I wasn't going to
1983.
tell him the reason why, because we've not been taught to say, to share deeply your emotions, what you are going through, because you are afraid. There are so many reasons for that. We might come back to that.
Yes.
So, but as God will have it, he gave me a pointed question that I couldn't but reply him, and that was the beginning of conversation for both of us, where we now saw that we both have the same issue. He has also been thinking that, what, if this relationship is not going to work, let's just let it go. So that brought us to be able to talk about the issue. And then we came up with a united front to face that issue. And that's where we are now, 40 years later, 42 years later,
yes.
to the glory of God. So what am I saying? I would have walked off. He would have also walked off. But because we talk, so we have to learn it. If it doesn't come to you naturally, then go and learn it. Force yourself to speak it. What is it that is in your mind? And of course, people also miss it by the way they communicate too. Because if you're too harsh, it's not going to do anything. What we're looking for is a solution, right? So we need to find a way to say what we want to say. Sometimes when it's well said, there's so many verses in the Bible. The one I like most is that good communication is like apples of gold on pictures of silver.
Wonderful.
Very powerful. You can paint, just let it be beautiful. Even the Bible says that, corrupt communication shouldn't come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Then it also says that a soft answer drives away wrath.
Yes.
So when we communicate now, we are real fight, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it because it doesn't go beyond here. It's just that this is what I'm going through, and we listen to each other. So that's it's a process. It's a process, and people can learn it. If you can do, in fact, there are too many things you can say. Even the little children that take care of, you say some things and you know that this is going to be, it will hit it. You said it very nicely, not very harsh, So that's the major thing that people have in marriage, the major communication issues.
Let me add to part of the learning process. You are shooting for a partner or a spouse. It's as good as you are targeting to want to go and buy either a Mercedes Benz or a Volkswagen. You have to learn about that particular vessel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Ask as many questions as possible. How do I communicate with you, this car or this person? You don't communicate with a Volkswagen the same way you will communicate with a Mercedes Benz.
True.
Otherwise, you won't get any response. So it's a learned process and response by asking, getting to know. If that knowledge is comfortable with you, you ride on the back and make your own too known. But without making each other's communication style or preferences known to each other, you are only riding on luck or escapism, or you have a ploy up your sleeves. Let me just catch the fish first. After when we get to the bridge, then you now get to the bridge and find that the bridge is too much higher than yourself and you can't cross it. So it's better to make your cards known and open. This is who I am. When you have made yourself known who I am, and they started getting used to your style and you're getting used to their own, don't come back after signing the dotted lines of I do. And start saying, but you know what, I don't talk much now. You talked when we were still cutting. That talk must continue. So this kind of, I call them almost the ploy of changing your attitudes before your spouse, or just looking for a way of catching them and subjecting your spouse, is not good. And it goes both ways. It's not just man trying to exploit the woman. You have seen women too trying to exploit the men. So both sides need to come clean and open. He who must come to equity. We are told must come with what? With
clean hands. So 43 years of marriage is not a joke. So I think one of the questions I always wanted to ask is, of course, at the time when you got married and now this is our Gen Z generation, how will you say the pressures of modern life now that we're in is the pressures, how would we say the pressures have affected marriages compared to previous generations, so the generations of our parents, or of course at the time when you got married? Of course, a lot of things have changed. So what would we describe, or what would we say are the things that right now have caused pressures to marriages?
Okay. I will take you to the story of Jesus. In the book of Matthew chapter 18, from verses 3 to 8, or if you can stretch it to 11 and 12 as well. Very simple case. So that was a generational gap. At his own time, they brought somebody who they caught in adultery or whatever they call it, or fornication. A woman, one woman they brought to him and say, hey, and their hands were already loaded with stones, just waiting for a verdict, killer. And Jesus saw through their hearts what they were up to, that this was not a genuine case. They just want to shame this lady and her family and relation and background or whatever. And then so he too now took them up on the platform of wisdom. And started telling them that this, your bill of divorcement that you are crying out right now, it was only by the hard-heartedness of yourselves that Moses gave you guys this chance. But from the beginning, it was not so. So for Gen Z, from the beginning, it was also not so difficult. Why don't you do what Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 16 says? Jeremiah 6:16, it says, when you get to crossroads, junctions of confusion, should I go right, left, or straight, or whatever? It says, ask for the ancient paths. That is, go back to the beginning and go and make inquiry. And before you know it, you'll find how simple this thing is supposed to be. So what I found mostly with Gen Z is that they are so impatient. Everything has gone fast track, fast food, fast. In fact, they do marriage on their own right now. Have you heard about that one?
No.
Or just pick your wife and borrow a car from the car shop, especially the one with open roofs, so that the two of you will show your head as if you are going through a parade. Then you drive by like a McDonald's where you want to pick at the window. Meanwhile, at the window is one uncertificated man that will do your marriage in 5 minutes and now pronounce you husband and wife. Hey, they can now go. And then you are off. Is that marriage?
No.
Oh, of course. So when you have watered down the standards, when you have redefined what marriage is supposed to be, you will get a result that is also already redefined. So my advice for younger ones coming up or those who are in it is please go and ask for the ancient paths. And how do I do that? You have your pastors, if you are a Christian. You have your whoever faith you submit to, those who you believe can show you those ancient paths. You have what you call counselors. And we always advise people, when the mood is right, all things are going on well, sit down as husband and wife or spouses to be, and possibly start agreeing on some potential counselors where you can develop some safety net of counselors where you can have comfort to say, if you take my case to go and discuss with the Babatundes, I will support you, so I will come along there. If you take my case and go and discuss with Pastor so and so and so, you agree on some names that in case we have challenges that we could not speak easily across to each other, we must have what we call a comfort net. We say choose one couple above you in marriage, well above you, another couple within your own age range of marriage, another couple below you. That's at least 3. Then you can now add maybe 1 or 2 from your faith society. That way you create a bubble, what's called a safety net, whereby if anything happens that is causing, that is, because it's very difficult. That communication we just mentioned a while ago is a challenging fulcrum of how to make marriage works. And it often goes along with how to solve conflicts. It doesn't just hang alone.
Yeah.
Communication and conflict, they are like twin sisters or twin brothers. So you need to agree on how do we handle things that are going out of hand, so that when the issues want to start and it's going beyond your own bearable limits as one of the spouses, you default to one of those nets and seek counsel. They will now call the other party to order, and then you get some kind of a reset button, and then you can now talk and become more like human beings again.
Okay, I just, okay.
Let me add this to it. You know, the Gen Z that you're talking about, it's like they want to have marriage their own way, on their own terms, and it will never work. It will never work. The owner of it has already put the blueprints down. If you do not want to follow the blueprint, so I tell them that you cannot get married. Don't even bother about it. If you are not ready to go by the blueprints, you know, whether you are a lady or you are a man, you have to go by the rules. And, you know, so if you have not been going by the rules in your life, you know, the way they live their lives, it's not a marriage that is going to start. So it has to be a lifestyle. A lifestyle of walking by the, even in Canada, you can't walk outside of the rules. They'll send you, in fact, the police officer that will come to talk to you will be mine you and sign you, but you dare not, because you know the results of it. So we have to do things by the books. And as long as they don't want to do that, it's not going to work, unfortunately.
So I'm going to deviate a bit and talk about, so of course we see there's a higher, well, I observe that there's a higher rise of divorce rates now. At least I know a couple of people that are close to us that have gotten divorced. And, you know, when we probe, one issue here, one issue there. So a couple of issues, of course, I would never support violence in a marriage, but one of the things I've always wanted to ask, especially from with your experience, is for people that maybe they're on the brink of divorce, we've tried everything, it's not working. What have you seen from your experience? Okay, they want to divorce. what can they do? Because again, some of it could be from betrayal, it could be from hurt. Do we think that people that have gone through betrayal and hurt in a marriage, do we think that that marriage can be restored?
Definitely it can be restored, but it has to take willing hearts.
Okay.
They must be willing to. And I really quite feel for them, because it's like you're talking to some of them and you can see all the opportunities of bringing this back, but they don't see it at that time. And a lot of them, when they finally go through the divorce that they want, it's always filled with regrets. I hardly see anyone that will not. It's still another tale of woe after the other. I don't think they ever. It's like two pieces of paper, and I'm sure, I think we did that in our marriage course. I don't know if you saw that. That you glue together and then you want to tear it apart. You can't get two clean papers back. It's going to mar on each other. So it's not the thing. It's not rosy to go out there. You're better off to sit down and see and be patient. Is that you take it one day at a time, one brick at a time. You know, when you want to pull down a house, you can bring a bulldozer and pull it down just at once. But you can choose also to pull down the house brick by brick. Whether fortunately or unfortunately, that's how you can mend a marriage that is already having issues. You can't do it together. It has to be brick by brick. If they are willing and they have like all those safety nets to walk along with you. Some people, they can't do it by themselves. When they got to that point, somebody has to be an umpire to help them if they are willing.
Okay.
But both parties must be willing.
So in a situation, so let me paint a picture, because we do see situations where sometimes it may just be at the time, for lack of better, at the time, it may just be easier for both parties to go their separate ways. So let's say, because when you speak to such people, you speaking to them, you can already see the big red flags, right? Like you can tell that these people had no business getting married to each other in the first place. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because we do have divorced people, single mothers, single fathers in the churches or even around us, right? And for us, Africans or Afro-Caribbeans, well, I'll say from where we come, Africans, someone who goes through divorce has like they're kind of like labeled, you know, there's a label on them. Yeah, so, but how can we help such people? Because, you know, again, they didn't plan to, I don't think anybody got into marriage wanting to get a divorce. And they found themselves in this situation. How can we bring those people back in terms of, I find that some people they may have self-esteem issues. They have broken spirits. They're going through a lot, right? Absolutely. Both male and female is both ways. How do we bring such people back into the fold?
I'll take a little bit, and then you will say much more. Number one, the fact that somebody is divorced they should not be stigmatized for that. I know that's easier said than done because it just happens. We have to intentionally love them. The Bible, God hates divorce, but truly, like you said, some may even be better off to divorce, really, especially if it's bothering on life, particularly. You know, so now they found themselves there. They didn't plan to be there, like you said. All that we can do for them as people around them, maybe the church or wherever wherever they submit to, or the community, is to love them as they are and come along to support them. I'm not, we cannot put blames on them. We can't lay charges on them because we don't even know their story. And even if we know their story, that's where they're at. So where do we go from here now? Is to show love, to come into support, to help them. It's huge. But when you look at the singles, single parents, particularly because of divorce, it's not because of death of one, but divorce, because it's like a problem that is staring them in the face 24/7. You have to talk to your ex-husband because of the children or the son, or vice versa. So it's always there. So what they need, honestly, is compassion. It's not judgment. We can't judge them. The Bible even says that, you correct those who are wrong carefully, because you don't know whether you're going to get there as well. So if you think that you are not there, and so those who are there, no. We need to show compassion. We need to show love. We need to support them. we need to include them in what we're doing. We can't separate them and say, and it's so hard. And I know that sometimes they put some stigma on themselves that is not really put on them too. That's also there, that's not real. But whatever it is, we make people comfortable. We make them comfortable, welcome them, support them, talk to them, check out on them, and and it will really go a long way. So,
well, my only little addition will be, you have talked about what we can do for them. What can they do for themselves or for others?